activity to justice. But this has to be done in a certain way. So it has to be done on evidence, and it must not be used as a retaliation against political opponents.
The Prime Minister of Bangladesh is insisting that her opponents, her rivals, must shun what she calls terrorist activities before anything goes further in terms of talks.
There is a problem in Bangladesh because all the governing parties, they always blame the opposition parties for the level of human rights violation that is taking place in the country, and opposition parties always blame the
right, so you're actually talking
parties.
Historically, you're saying whoever's in government just blames the opposition?
Whoever has been in government, it has been the pattern in Bangladesh that opposition parties have always said that they will respect human rights when they come to power. But when they come to power, when they have all the instruments of authority that enables them to respect human rights, they don't respect human rights. They, in fact, are actually violators of human rights. And that has been the case because, as you know, in Bangladesh, governance has been alternating between the Awami League Party and the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, of course. And both of these parties, they've been really in a situation to ensure the human rights of people, and they've never done that.
I just want to ask you briefly, while we have a little bit more time, why is it so much worse, or is it so much worse this time around?
Yeah, this level of violence is really unprecedented because, in the past we've never really had attacks against polling centers, for example. I mean, schools where polling centers have been allocated, they've been attacked. And then the children who are going to those schools, I mean, they just don't have any place to go to. Buses have been attacked. I mean, there are stories, there are actually credible stories, allegations, that people have died as a result of the firebombs that have been thrown at the buses. Or in a shop, for example, we've been following one of the stories where the man in a shop, he was actually in his shop, he was probably a supporter of one of the parties, and their opponents actually threw a firebomb at the shop, and it was difficult for him to get out, so he actually burned in that shop. He was burnt alive. So, I mean, there are all these really stories around, and this level of violence is criminal activity. Whoever carries it.
Abbas, Faiz, thank you very much of Amnesty International. Let's get an update now on what is actually going on at the moment in Bangladesh. Let's talk to our correspondent Mahfouz Siddiq in Dhaka. Mahfouz, how is the situation today?